We had mobs of crows that were falling out of the sky, not burnt, just run out of oxygen.
Then there was these little columns of acrid black smoke, and I said, yeah, that's houses now.
My name's Tom Gray. I've been selling oysters for 17 years now. Oysters are filter feeders, so they need a fast-flowing, good, clean water, and Tasmania certainly provides that.
My name is Matt Dunbabin. Bangor's been in our family since the late 1800s. About 10 years ago, we put the vineyard in, and the plan was always to sell direct to our customers.
We'd been through this very challenging natural disaster, and it was only a matter of
2 weeks.
2 weeks after the fires when Matt realised that the building that he was possibly going to put his cellar door in disappeared in all of 30 seconds.
So when we lost the shed, we had to make a decision about what we were going to do.
And Matt came up with the idea that we could probably join forces.
So we decided we'd rebuild what became the Wine and Oyster Shed. So I don't think there's many places you go as a tourist where you'll know that you're meeting the person whose product you're consuming, and being able to see the vineyard out the front and, oh, where are the oysters from? Look out that window, and that's amazing to most people.
My name is Anthony O'Hearn. I have been avoiding a desk job for 15 years or so. I grew up in the southern part of Tasmania on the border of the World Heritage Area. My dad was a mad keen whitewater rafter, so I was always interested in what he was doing. That then led to rafting as a summer job. I used that rafting as a way to see the world. And some of the companies I was working for overseas were doing canyoning. Canyoning involves putting on a wetsuit, getting into a river and doing whatever you have to do to get down the river. I was never going to have what people call a real job, sitting in an office or whatever it is. I'd explored different ideas through different adventure tourism businesses. And then we found this amazing canyon just near Cradle Mountain that's got amazing rainforest lining it, these ancient trees that aren't found anywhere else in the world other than Tasmania. The water flushes its way down this incredibly smooth canyon, and it creates these great chutes and natural water slides and jumps into deep pools. So it just made perfect sense.
I beg pardon for my engagement, as I really was much inflamed with liquor. I must have sucked up a more than usual quantity when at the Whisky Cock before dinner, and gave utterance to language altogether vice versa to what I intended or ought to have said.
My name's Greg Ramsey. Ratho Farm had always been in my family since my great-grandfather bought it in the 1930s. Two of my grandparents were real raconteurs. They enjoyed spinning a yarn and holding people with a really interesting story. It's very important to me that the experience here at Ratho is not just another tourist experience. Ratho Farm is best known for having one of Australia's oldest golf courses. We're one of the very few courses around the world where you can hire and play with hickory golf sets. The Victorian Fowl and Pigeon Association believe our chook house to be the oldest in Australia. The Melbourne Cup winner, the Assyrian, who won the Melbourne Cup in 1882, he came here the following year to stud, and that room is now called the Mounting Yard. All our honeymooners stay there. I hope people leave Ratho that they say, I came to play one of Australia's oldest golf courses, or I came to catch a big trout, or I came to do some mountain biking, but I left having learned and laughed at the story of how we all came to be what we are today.
My name is Brian Inder. I prefer to call myself the Brian royalty, you see. Laird of Lower Crackpot, Chieftain of Clan Crackpot, Chief Magistrate and Sheriff of Lower Crackpot. That's my full title. You don't have to stand up. I quite cheerfully regard myself as a refugee from Sydney. And I came down here to Tasmania, if you like, to get away from it all. No money, no one to back me up, nothing. Many years ago, I went to the movies, saw a movie with Lowell and Hardy. They're walking down the street to go to Oxford University and came across this maze. Anyway, I thought that was all rather marvellous, and one day I would have my own maze. Architecture was my interest, and I thought, well, I'll make a model town. And so I have. I've created something for the child and everybody, and it's worked quite well. We've got a little thing here, Upper Lower Crackpot, and the road through that is, we call it the Yellow Brick Road. Of course, Disney has got the rights to that name. They sent a couple of their boys out here. They said, well, we hardly think you're a threat to Disney. They knew Walt Disney. I said, what do you think that he would have thought about this? He said, I don't think he would have done it as well. I hope I've presented this as the world the way you want it to be.